as an industry, for the most part, as a distributor, are selling the same products from the same suppliers at around the same price, right? And so while there are for sure some proprietary things, a lot of that's horseshit.
Absolutely. Heyo! It is time for episode number 123. Actually, let's call it 132 of the Promo UPFront Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, the captain of Las Vegas himself, the one and only Kirby Hasseman, right here, live and in person in the Evans booth, right here. Do you see that? We're live.
We are live, man. I will say, I was talking to several people, and it's like, Josh Robbins actually was like, it's back. The expo is back. It is packed here. I feel like the energy is really good, and that's saying a lot because by now, after being in Vegas for several days, my energy usually in the morning is pretty low, and you get around all these people, and it just lifts you back up.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you know, the whole expo experience got me to thinking, Kirby. Especially since we're in the Evans booth, and you might have heard there's been a bit of news from our pals at Evans. You know, we're at the fabulous Evans booth. Like I said, 3513 if you're here in Vegas and watching this. Before we start recording, we were able to chat with the good, strong, everybody here at Evans. And it always blows me away, Kirby, how Evans has that singular focus on making the lives of distributors easier. That's absolutely on display here. We could go on and on and on and on and on about how fabulous Evans is, but I don't know about you. I'd rather talk to somebody at Evans who knows it. So without further ado, we don't do this often.
Yeah, we don't.
I would really like to introduce the 27th most powerful person in the promotional products industry, the president of Evans Health, the one and only Mr. Alan Vaught. Come on over, Alan. Come on over.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody.
Look at this, Alan Vaught.
On stage.
Yeah, on stage.
In person.
Yeah.
So has anything happened this week for you guys?
Well, we ended up at the trade show.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, so that's all good. Yeah.
No, big announcement yesterday. You're going to be part of the HPG family, which is a great thing.
Actually, I would say we're not going to be part. We are part.
There you go.
Family.
It's already done.
As of the end of the year.
That's awesome.
I could be more excited, more thrilled to be part of the family. It's if you guys follow the progression that HPG has done, they've acquired companies, but every company is still the same company. Best is still Best, Hub is still Hub, Argado is still Argado, and Evans will still be Evans. So that's pretty exciting.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, it really is. If you look at some of the other acquisitions haven't been quite as smooth, and it's mainly because we're trying to take a company like Evans and make them something Evans isn't. And
right.
Evans is a great company, and obviously I'm maybe a little bit biased. But we're a great company, and they plan to keep us this way.
That's awesome. So I do have a couple questions for you. Number one, we're putting you on the spot. Evans is well known for being laser focused on making the lives of your distributor partners easier. How has that shaped the culture of Evans? And I know you're going to bring that culture with you to HPG. You already started doing that.
Absolutely. Well, I guess I don't know there's one answer. You'd like to know if customer service is good. Well, what makes customer service good? Right. You have to have good production. Right? You have to have good sales. You have to have good, so really, I don't think there's any one department that exemplifies what the company is. It really has to be a culture everywhere. And if you walk through our company, what you see here with our customer service reps, the people in the booth here with salespeople, you'll see it all the way through the factory. Everybody.
Right.
Same.
Well, and I get to see them. I actually get to see all the comments you get from distributors. They really do. You do really make their lives easier. Okay.
So let me just tee up that because if you look at the awards we've won some great awards. Like we won the Supplier Star Award this year. Huge award, right?
That's huge.
It's not that. So it's because you have great customer service. Well, ask customer service how it works when production doesn't deliver.
Right.
Ask production how it works when orders don't get to the factory floor. So probably the most fun award we've won in my book is being the best place to work, but that's voted on by our employees.
Absolutely.
We've got, I don't want to steal the thunder here.
No, I love that stuff.
It's great. It's really
I
fun.
know it's hard to pick one, but what is your go-to piece of promo from Evans and why?
Well, that's like trying to pick my favorite child. It changes from, depends on
day to day,
hour
to hour.
Yeah. Right now, I would say my favorite product is our water bottles, our PET water bottles. It probably has a soft spot in my heart because we make them. We start with plastic pellets, and they go through a process. We injection mold what's called a preform. A preform goes into a blow molding machine to get blow molded. So you can literally look and say, here's a pellet, here's a finished bottle, all in one sweep. So that's
cool.
really cool. And then bamboo is always good, sustainable. I would say, again, it changes.
And my favorite, I love your packaging, what you do with some of your gift boxes.
Oh, yeah,
some really nice stuff where you couple drinkware. And I will tell you, your charcuterie boards are the best.
Yeah.
Absolute best.
They look better when they're about half empty. But,
Yeah, they do. All right, last question. In one sentence, what would you like distributors to think of when they think of Evans?
Oh, boy. Well, I think they already do. It's a great company. Overall.
There you go.
And I like to think of it now that we're under the umbrella of HPG.
Yeah.
I think that's such a big statement.
It is. It is.
Hello, Wayne. I'm not allowed to bring Wayne on. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Just a video as well. That's Wayne.
That's Wayne Greenberg.
Yeah. Hello, Wayne. All right, 4 quick questions, and you can go talk to Wayne.
Okay, good deal.
What's your favorite hotel in Las Vegas?
Well, it's the one I'm at tonight.
Okay.
Mandalay Bay.
Excellent. Favorite restaurant in Vegas?
The one I ate at last night. The Eddie Strip Steak.
Strip steak. Okay.
Leave it open.
The ideal length to be in Las Vegas. The ideal time of day.
Oh boy,
days.
I could almost live here if I had this environment all the time. Probably a few days, 3 or 4 days. Yeah, 3 or 4 days.
All right.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a tough one.
Okay.
Best looking booth in Vegas.
Well, fortunately, I was here during the setups. I literally walked and saw every booth without question. The Evans booth was the best.
There you go.
HPG is a close second.
There you go. Alan, Kirby, and I couldn't be happier.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Good day.
Thank you so
Enjoy
much.
yourself. Thank you.
He's such a great guy.
Yes,
and I got to tell you, booth 3515 if you're here on the show floor. And if you're looking for a supplier that truly has your back, Evans really does. And now that they're part of the HPG family, I think that's going to be a great acquisition. HPG has such a great history of doing acquisitions right.
Yeah.
And we know that there's some acquisitions that maybe have been less right.
Yeah.
This, I think, is going to be a great fit.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people who, no matter what the change is, they're going to not like the change.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so anything like that, they might get upset about. But
Yeah.
but what we've seen, again, I'm not saying that there wouldn't be any challenges, because there's challenges in doing business every day. But what we've seen from HPG is they do it right.
Absolutely. So visit them at evans-mfg.com. Again, if you're here in Vegas, stop by the booth.
Love it.
All right, Kirby, let's talk promo up front.
Okay.
I'm tired of talking. Do you want to talk?
Yeah, sure. So let's, again, since we are here in Vegas, we've been here a couple days.
Yep.
And, now the show floor is open, so we've even gotten a day of the show floor.
yeah.
So just let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So what have you seen so far at the Expo that has surprised you, if anything?
The sheer amount of humanity.
Yeah.
Okay, after you said it earlier in the podcast, it does feel like we're back. I think this is really the best trade show since 2020, right before the pandemic hit. The footprint's a little smaller, not much, but I think the sheer amount of distributors that are here more than makes up for that.
Yeah.
And so I was surprised by just how many and the excitement. I love the energy. I think what Alan was talking about, I don't like Vegas any more than anybody else does, but the energy here is absolutely off the charts amazing.
No, I agree. And honestly, it was funny because I don't know that I realized how many people leading up to the show, like coming in.
Yeah.
It's busy and whatever, but as you start to try and walk down the ails, it is crazy.
Yeah.
And so, that was a big surprise for me.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing that surprised me is how much, chicken wings cost.
Yeah, Vegas has decided to absolutely get back their pricing. They've embraced the inflation and amped it up a little bit.
Yeah, they have absolutely amped up.
They have amped up. Speaking of that, I think we have to amp up the podcast. Hey, distributors, is your marketing working? It's 2023. Can you answer that question? Is your marketing working? Well, if you can't answer that question with a
hell yeah,
then you need to reach out to our good pals over at Promo Pulse. They're going to help you consistently amplify your sales through stunningly beautiful outbound marketing. It's easy for you. It's so easy. You customize it, you set it, and forget it, all in 5 minutes. All right? So you can learn more at promopulse.io amp.
Cool.
/amp.
Yeah. All right.
What else? Anything else in Vegas?
I guess so.
We just decided to throw that in there.
Yeah, we just did.
We're mixing it up this week.
Yeah, we sure are. So we talked about it, and maybe this is the answer to the same, but what's the best thing that you've seen so far? And not necessarily product, just whatever.
I think the best thing I see are maskless smiles.
That's a good one. Yeah. I like that.
There's some people wearing masks, and that's fine.
Great.
That's fine.
Great.
You do what you need to do, but to be able to look across an aisle for maybe the first time in 3 years and to see someone you haven't seen in a while and see that smile, that's really been cool.
Yeah.
So it's that's honestly, I could get emotional about it. It's just, this is such a great industry, and to see all these people.
Yeah.
So that for me is the maskless smile.
And I think mine goes with that. It's just the absolute connection. You predicted this, I think, last week. You were like, reconnection is what you're going to be looking for, and I totally buy that. It has been, started with the SKUCon event on whatever day that was. It's all blur. But man, hugs and high fives. That is exactly how I would describe Expo this year. That would be the hashtag hugs and high fives, because it was just, the reconnection's been amazing.
I love it.
Okay.
I've got a couple things on Expo too that I prepared for, and he prepared. Look, we prepared.
Who knew?
Who knew? So like I said, I wanted to think, how many times have been, what number show is this for you?
Well, that's a great question. I actually am not sure I know the answer to that. I would bet 10 or 15.
Okay, so you never went to the show in Dallas?
No,
okay.
no. I think I must have started. Again, I didn't know that it was new to Vegas when I started coming.
Yeah.
Like, it was just what it was.
So my first show was in 2000, so it was I believe that was the last one in Dallas. Maybe it was the second last one. So we've been going to Vegas, you and I, let's call it 15 years.
Yeah.
I want to know what changes you've seen. It's in Vegas, and I've got a couple if you want to think on this.
Yeah, so honestly, Vegas, there was a time when you used to say that you could come here and it's an affordable vacation, and I don't mean to belabor that, but to get a cup of coffee in my hotel room, literally the thing that sits on the thing, is $14.
Yeah.
Like, that is not the best change. I say that the positive, I think I continue to see, and this would be more to PPAI, is I love what they're doing from a content perspective. We call it the bubble, but it's the Expo Live thing. I really like that. I think it's embracing it. And so I dig that, and I think that the embracing of that sort of thing is the thing that I really like.
Yeah, so I thought of the cosmetic changes I've seen. They have the hotel changed to the Delano.
Okay.
But back to what you were talking about, I think what PPAI has done over the years, very slowly and methodically, and I mean that in a positive way. They've really made it a much more interactive event. You call it the bubble, I call it the fishbowl. I like that thing. It's just a plexiglass rectangle where there's 20-minute TED Talks all day long. Is that a good way to put it? I love that. I think PPAI has also done a great job with their off-campus event, the Promo Palooza. I did not go last year, and I'm not going this year.
I went last year, and it was really good.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really good.
Now, I want to know what changes you'd like to see. So we talk about some changes we've seen. What would you like to see change?
Wow. I think that what I do like is that they continue to evolve. Continuing to utilize promo, and I think that that's actually something I feel like I didn't think of last time, but they're doing better. It's funny to me how you come to these things and it's like, utilizing water bottles because we need more water. We're seeing more of that. So I would say, just off the top of my head, utilizing promo more to kind of promote the event and enhance it.
So I wrote 3 things down, and I like your answer a lot. Better or more networking opportunities. Let's do a little less on the product focus. So look, we're all here to see products, and I don't want to belittle that.
Yeah, sure.
That's important, but really, if you can't see what we're seeing here, it's all about the relationships people have, and they're connecting, and the hugs and handshakes and high fives you talked about, right? That's one. I'd like to see more education. More education that's supplier focused. So we're not seeing enough supplier focused education,
and we haven't almost ever.
I don't think PPAI does a good job of prioritizing that, because they have Education Day on Setup Day. So I don't know the solution to that, but there is absolutely a solution.
That's a good
one. That's one. And then the last one, I think there's got to be a better way to incorporate service providers. I am an observer because I cannot get a service provider badge. That's okay. They're working on it, and it's going to be fixed. But right now, they need to find a better way to incorporate service providers, because we have our own event tonight. I know you're going to be there, called the Outliers Ball. We had to create our own event because we got tired of waiting for somebody else to do it.
And I think I think you've said you're going to die on that hill.
I will die on that hill.
And I think it. You know what it is? I don't understand, and I mean this with sincerity, I don't understand the challenge. I feel like this is clearly there's something that I don't get that is a challenge with service providers, and I'm not, I'm not trying to ring that bell for my own sake, and I know you aren't either. I just feel like we overcomplicate that particular issue.
I think PPAI looks at service providers as competitors. Very simple.
Okay.
There I think with some companies there are overlapping services.
Sure.
But I don't think it's executed well. I think Dale Denham, President and CEO of PPAI, agrees it's not executed well. So I think they'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it, and we're getting there. And I'm working with them on suggesting some things, and
that's good.
Hopefully we'll get there. So.
Well, and I think one of the things, and to say it out loud, I think we are, and gosh, I think it's been proven we tend to be fans of PPAI and supporters. And so one of the things I like about what you're doing is, it's a challenge, but you are coming up with suggestions as well, and I think that's important.
Well, I think I live my life. I don't mind complaining about things, but I will try to come up with a solution while I do it.
Yeah,
all right, you got another topic?
I do. Let's move away from the Expo.
Let's move away from Expo.
Yeah, so this was one I saw a headline and it caught my attention. So the FTC is moving to ban non-compete clauses. The U.S. proposed rolling back non-compete clauses that bar employees from taking jobs with rival companies or starting new ones without risk of being sued. So it's interesting to me because I have long been anti non-compete clauses.
Right.
And so this is one of those things that caught my attention. Do you think that that's a good idea? Because I brought this up to somebody, Cliff Quickstep, the other day, and he was like, well, there are times when it does make sense. And I guess that's, but to me it's the exception rather than the rule. Yeah. So I'm not a fan of non-compete, so I was curious to know what you think of this idea.
I think it's great. I think Cliff is correct. There are instances where it's intellectual property and you could do harm to the company, so on and so forth, if you don't have some sort of protection for the organization. 9 times out of 10, and that's probably too low, they're so far in favor of the organization, and they're so punitive and they're so restrictive. I've made the decision, personally, I will never sign another non-compete. I won't go into detail, but I was threatened with lawsuit by a company a long time ago. So nobody I'm talking about recent, but threatened it was the most ridiculous thing ever. I wasn't going to do anything. I just want to work.
I want to make a living.
Right. But I was at the time told I couldn't work for any ASI top 40 distributor or supplier for a period of 3 years.
Oh, jeez.
And thankfully I never signed the non-compete, but that's what the non-compete said. So I think mostly non-competes are not necessary.
Right.
I think for some people, in certain instances, in certain industries, and in certain positions, they're absolutely necessary. But 9 times out of 10, not necessary at all.
Yeah, and again, I think one of the things that I've heard you say, which you just said in a really good talk, was that we, as an industry, for the most part, as a distributor, are selling the same products from the same suppliers at around the same price, right? And so while there are for sure some proprietary things, a lot of that's horseshit.
Absolutely.
So it is, to me, most of what we're trying to hide from, most of us already know.
Yeah, it falls in the same category when people post on the Promotional Products Facebook page and they swipe out a logo because they're looking for a specific pen. Like nobody knows State Farm buys pens.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah,
so.
agreed. All right.
I don't have another topic, Kirby.
Okay, I got one more.
All right, let's topic it up.
Okay, so have you, and I should know this, but I really actually don't.
Yeah.
You don't have an MBA, right?
Sir, I got out of college just in the nick of time.
Okay,
no, I do not.
Yeah, neither do I. Have you ever wanted to get an MBA?
No, but it's because I don't think I need an MBA to do what I do.
Sure.
I think there are certain professions where that advanced level education is certainly necessary.
Yeah.
But I don't see for what we do now.
Yeah. So, and I have thought about it a bunch of times, and obviously being an entrepreneur, I would learn, and I like that side of it. But I don't. It's not like I would give myself a raise because I got an MBA.
Right.
But one of the things that they're talking about now is preaching caution, because with some of the big layoffs that have happened, like people often use that opportunity to go back and get their MBA.
Sure.
What they're saying is that the studies are starting to show that it doesn't always return because your debt becomes so much higher that you can't make as much. Is that sort of your feeling on it, or what's your take?
My feeling, and you're asking at an interesting time in my life. I've got 2 children in college.
Right.
One of whom may go for a master's, and I think the best learning is real world, hands-on, nose to the grindstone, making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. Book learning is very important.
Sure.
And institutional learning is important, but not at the cost of real-world experience.
Yeah.
And so, to me, again, it depends what you want to do. It's one of those very conflicting topics for me.
Yeah.
Extremely conflicting.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
Because I'm a lifelong learner too.
Yeah.
Look, I get bored. I decide I'm going to learn how to be a mixologist.
Yeah.
I get bored. I'm going to learn how to smoke meat. And it's all around food and drinks. I
Yeah.
don't know why. I can't tell because I'm so thin. But
I think there's I heard Seth Godin say this one time, so I want to give proper credit.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between learning and education.
Yes.
Learning is
That's
something that is self-guided, and
Yeah.
education is something someone does to you.
I agree. That's a great way to put it. I've never heard that.
Yeah, and so I believe in learning.
Yep.
I'm not as big a fan of education.
That's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because I do consider myself a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
One of my goals this year, we haven't even done our goals yet this year, we'll do it at some point.
Yeah.
I used to be a voracious reader.
Yeah.
And I have slacked off on that. And so I'm going to start slow, one book a month.
Love it.
One book a month. But I
I
just
think that's
don't
great.
read. And that's how I learn. And I learn by doing. So I think that at this point, I think higher education is such a scam.
Right. The cost is just changed.
And the
yeah.
lending is so predatory.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there are loans out there that you get penalized if you pay it back on time. I mean, did you hear that? How dumb that is?
Yeah, back it up and say that again.
Yeah, so, interesting
that's
stuff.
Cool. All right, well, cool.
Well, I think this is it. So we are here in Las Vegas. We're here at the Evans booth, now part of the HPG family of companies, and I think that's a really good thing. It's a hard. We did not know this.
Yeah,
by
we
the way.
did not.
We found out when the rest of you guys did on
Yeah.
Monday in our Facebook feeds.
Yeah, literally, I woke up, saw that, and I was like, well, I guess I know what we'll be talking about.
Absolutely, but you know what they're going to take to HPG? That same care, that same dedication to making distributors' lives easier that they've done for years. You heard Alan Vaught earlier. I've never met Alan, I'll be honest with you. What a tremendously lovely man.
Yeah, I agree. That was really cool.
And
Very humble.
We've had a chance to talk to him for a while. Just really nice. So, and you can see where that leadership goes down.
Yeah,
it comes from the top. So, thank you again for having us in the Evans booth. And again, if you're looking for a partner, a supplier partner that is really going to help you make your life easier, there's no better place than Evans. And so we want to thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for episode 133. Bye!